Tell her it's one now. How come I need rest? No recess on my schedule. Right. Mama used to serve vegetables. Now half the meals got tentacles. Right. Half the errands need a reservation and half my money goes straight to taxes. But I don't trip about it. That's what happens when you got dreams closer than a match. And plus all your boys got expensive habits. Go. I know what they're thinking. They don't even gotta say it. Nope. They thinking they just made it. I know how to make everybody feel famous. I don't gotta work no day shift. I don't gotta split no payment. I don't gotta...
Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports.
Well, Coach, the seating capacity is 65,000 at Ford Field, and we are right around that number today. A good crowd on hand and seemingly ready to go in the Motor City. Today, it's a black and blue matchup in the NFC North between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. This is fielded at the goal line. And look at this. Right away, a loose football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Mike. Set. I'm waiting. 55, Mike. I'm trying to collect.
On 1st and 10, Stafford is complete to Jones. And they're able to get this one across the 35. First down Lions on a pickup of 13.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. And they give this time to the tailback. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Tackle made by Eric Kendricks. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And that is incomplete. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30.
We got 3, fellas, we got 3.
First carry for the Boise State Bronco, Alexander Madison. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. A gain of 3, 2nd down. And the offensive starters for the Vikings.
For a lot of people, there are pros and cons to playing close to home in the NFL. But for Adam Thielen, it's nothing but pros. Grew up not too far from the Twin Cities, loves being a Viking, and is a really dependable 3rd down receiver.
Here's a give to Madison running right. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. He was brought down by Devon Kennard. Time to roll through the starters defensively for Detroit. And they're a unit that struggled some against the run, no doubt, coming in 25th out of 32 teams.
And stopping the run That's been an issue for them all season long. Aren't you glad that you're not coaching the defense right now?
I'm very glad. They said that they've seen it in doses, but very, very small doses.
Yeah, you've got to be consistent. It's down in and down out, being able to play it, understand what you have to get done, and finally stop some people, put them on the ground. Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert, but right now looking at a 3rd and 3. They'll try to get it on the ground with Madison. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
When you think of Mike Daniels, you think of strength. Hard to knock off the football, but surprising quickness and ability to move and evade people. How about that play there?
Well, he can squat 600 pounds, so that's how he caught people's attention coming into the league, and he caught our attention right there.
Brandon, you're never quite sure what the side judge or the field judge is going to rule there. That was awfully close, but in the end, he says it passed over the 1-yard line, and that's where they're going to mark it out. I mean, you can see it right there, right? See him walking up the sideline? Told him to stop right there at the 1.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And a bit of a daunting task here for this offense as they'll start out at the 1-yard line.
I guess you could easily say there's a whole lot of real estate in front of them if they want to achieve their goal, which is get to the other end zone.
Yeah, 99 yards to go if they want to do just that.
Focus, defense, focus. He's checking.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down.
Partner, I think that play echoed a short yardage run. I know they're backed against their own goal line, but when they stack the defensive line like that, if you find any type of a crease, you're up to the 3rd level before you know it.
Now a play fake here on first down. Open man is Galladay, complete. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. 15 yards for the Lions there on a first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down.
Downfield. Offense.
Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there.
Break it. Set. Go 20. You.
Here's a quick throw complete to Galladay. It's a solid pickup of 11, and it's 2nd down. From the 35 on 2nd down. Stafford, he'll get this one to Galladay. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. Great change up there on the route and got that inside release, made it a successful pitch and catch.
Well, the first thing you want to do is have him thinking that you're going outside, make a move in that direction. Then you really don't run the route against the whole body of the defender. You run against a half of him, and the inside half, and he took it right across his face, got inside, and won that route in a big way. Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
A first down throw for Cousins. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
Pretty nice work defensively there on the first down run as they hold him to a gain of a couple. 2 yards on the pickup. It'll be second down. So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. They're going to go with a tight end here on the running play. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. 2 yards gets them back to where they started, but now 3rd and 10. The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. Cousins. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Will Harris there to make the play. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Now a fair catch taken, maybe a yard or two shy of midfield. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And the Lions will have excellent field position here as they take over 1st and 10. Stafford on first down. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Second quarter action now from Detroit, and it's the homestanding Lions who have the football. No score after 1 on EA Sports. They'll need to convert a 3rd and 7, though, to start things out. Out of the gun, Stafford. And he couldn't hang on. Almost an interception there defensively. Instead, it brings up 4th. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league...
And he's going to go down in the end zone. Cousins taken down for the safety. So after a scoreless first quarter, we at least finally get some points on the board.
But it can't be what either of us expected, can it?
No, the safety's not what you expect for the first points of the game, but one of the goose eggs is gone. And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. T.J. Hockenson, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. They'll be in search of their initial points in the contest, trailing 9-0 as they begin with a first down. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. On second down, this is Madison. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Back to the ground on first down. Here's Madison. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Here's Madison. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
3rd and short yardage, Cousins. And that will be incomplete. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
And this is a beauty as that ball's going to angle out at the 6-yard line. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the first half. It's a first down.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
On first down, Stafford here. And he'll complete this one to Fulgham. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The big gainer there on the catch and run, 37 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Ben Gideon in on the stop. Looking to throw on second down. Stafford, the former Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr there to jar it free.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A nice pickup of 23 on the third down conversion. Stafford now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's 1st and 10. James has got it. Complete. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. A great play there. Hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now a man open down the middle of the field, and he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 16 yards, a first down. Here's Madison running on first down, pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join, who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. They'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down. From the 50, Stafford.
After that throw, and it was definitely one that he would love to have back, I wonder what's going through his head. I wonder what kind of mind game he's playing with himself to get himself back on track. Because a lot of guys, that's what they do. They have little triggers that when the mechanics are off, if they make a bad throw, that they go to that place to get themselves back in sync.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Stafford now to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Good contain. No gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Here now, Brett Maher. He hit from 62 in his rookie season of 2018. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here.
We play to win.
And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. It's complete to Diggs. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Let him know, let him know.
A quick throw taken in by Diggs.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Tight end Irv Smith, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it to...
And this is going to be intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take... There you have it. Halftime quickly over. 3rd quarter, here we go. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Here comes Kirk Cousins now to lead his offense back out there. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little, kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the 3rd quarter. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They'll run with Madison. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And out of bounds, this will depend on where they spot it, and they'll say at the 45. Back out is Matthew Stafford in the Lions offense. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done. Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Eric Kendricks in on the tackle. They'll run it now out of the gun. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down. Now it's Stafford off the bootleg. And that is incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. But hang on, a flag is down. Now, if it's on the defense, they might decline it and take the points.
Automatic first
The
down.
roughing the kicker called on 4th down. What a big break. Leads to a 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Stafford. Caught by Jones. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. This will be caught at about the 5.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you got to deliver the ball on time.
And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. A great effort there. With touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
This is fielded at the goal line.
Let's go.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
On 2nd down, Cousins again. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let it go late, and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet, 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a big, strong arm when he delivers it with confidence.
Devon Kennard gets to him well behind the line of scrimmage. That is a loss of 17 yards.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He is hoping to find the end zone for a 3rd time, and we sit now in the 3rd quarter.
And nothing would excite him more, but I think even more so, his offensive line. Anytime you've got a guy scoring that many times, that means you've done a really nice job in front of him.
You're always giving props to the big fellas up front.
It's always a good idea. This is a massive man.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. 12 yards there and a 1st down. Stafford now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Throwing is Stafford. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. And he'll give it here to his running back. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
To throw is Stafford. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Now Stafford. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Marvin Jones, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And the lead will swell by 1 more. A drive that time of 6 plays. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And now out comes Minnesota. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Going to get it to BB here. It's a jet sweep. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. Will Harris there to make the play. Draw play, Madison. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Certainly understand what they're doing there. 3rd and long draw play, but it did not work out.
And you can certainly hear the thought process, too. People are thinking, why are you running it there? You've got to throw the football. But sometimes you catch the defense napping. You take a little bit of a chance there. It just didn't work in this case.
A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return, and the Lions will take over. Getting set to go again, Matthew Stafford trots back onto the field. How do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Everson Griffin on the sack, taken to the 4th round back in 2010. What a steal. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. The shotgun snap for Stafford. And they'll have great field position here as the ball will be at the 15-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Another example of just a dominant performance by this defense.
Yeah, you hear all the time about teams that try to steal signals from the other side and try and learn their signs and their tendencies. It's almost like they got the answers to the exam the night before and were well prepared for this final.
On 2nd and 11 now. Cousins. And that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Now Cousins. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. So on 4th down here, Mike Tomlin says, let's just get 3. From the right hash, this from 33. And this one is right through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit third quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this third quarter. Back now at Ford Field. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Catch made by Fulgham. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves them with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Here's Cousins. And he can't quite intercept it. Zone coverage, free safety was there. Couldn't come up with it, and now it's 4th down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
It's a 41-yard punt, but just a net of 31 following the run back. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of full time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I we enjoy. We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 48-yard line.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Check.
Throwing is Cousins. And Diggs has it. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. The Vikings on third down. They've been stymied left and right. Converted only one time. This will be 3rd and 5. To throw is Cousins. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game is certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. Call it an 8-yard gain, much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard. The Lions on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
But sometimes, Brandon, there's just not a secret to how things get done. He's been running well all game long, and they continue to rely on him in this key situation.
They told us they were going to rely on him. They have. He comes through there, a big 3rd down conversion. They'll run it now out of the gun. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
From the 35 on 2nd down, Stafford. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Out of the gun, Stafford. He's got his man, T.J. Hockenson. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Open man is Galladay, complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Going to give this time to the tailback. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a 1st.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. Saying, all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And out But now come the Vikings. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Cousins, floating one, incomplete. Knocking it away there defensively, Justin Coleman. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Devon Kennard able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot.
And he coughs up the football near his own goal line. And the offense does cover this one, but back inside their own 5-yard line.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
2nd and goal from the 6 this time.
3 buds.
So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better, and that got it done in this one.
So for the Lions, they pick up win number 4 on the campaign as they emerge victorious here. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Washington Redskins. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, the season is really nosediving now as they fall to 2-12. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.